Welcome to Weekends with Whitney. Coming up, a musical break from the sweltering heat. See how these 4 Dutchtown High School guys are getting the attention of the music world and a growing fan base. Going next and how you can be part of it. Then DR.NICK shows us how to escape the busyness of life and learn how to enjoy it more, guilt-free.
We really are always in a rush, always doing something, always needing to achieve, always needing to produce. Nothingness is not about production. Nothing, that's what makes it so great.
But first, meet 4 high school friends who followed their passion of music and together created something all their own. Blue Crab Redemption. A lot of teenagers dream of having their own band. These 4 are doing it. Singer and guitarist Quentin Faulkner says they were friends long before they banded together.
Part of the thing that started our band was the fact that we were all in high school jazz bands together.
Okay.
And we were a tight little rhythm section, so we decided we'd start playing together other ways too. And we all have a love for rock and roll, so you know, play jazz on over here, and we play rock and roll over here.
So jazz isn't dead, and
Absolutely
it's not dying.
Not. Absolutely not. It's definitely not dead.
They named themselves the Blue Crab Redemption. Recently, the House of Blues named them one of the top bands around, selecting them to play on their famous stage. For drummer Caleb Gear, it was amazing.
You know, you had all like the lights and like the fog machine. It was just like a really cool environment, and like legendary people have played there, so it's cool to be on the same stage that they've been on.
Keyboard player Park Whipple says the energy was infectious.
It was like probably the best gig we've played so far, just because of the energy in there, and it was like packed with people, and just, it was really fun.
Bass player Brett Dobson hopes to play there again.
There's a lot of energy in the audience, and like that, like it just kind of goes between the players and the people and makes it a way better experience for everyone.
Their paths into music are as different as their instruments. Quentin's dad, Ben, let him play his guitar at age 8.
I started out strumming some chords that my dad showed me, and it's just been trying to go up from there.
He got his first guitar, ironically, due to a Train concert he hated.
We went to see Train at Blue Bayou Water Park, and we brought the whole family. And so he was tired because we had done the water park and we did the amusement park.
Yes.
And so when it was finally time to see Train, he wanted to go home. Quentin did. We were just maybe 50 feet from the stage.
Oh.
Great view. They played all of their hits. I mean, just it was an incredible show. And the whole time he was sitting, you know, just pouting on the ground, like refused to enjoy any of it.
So Dad made a deal. If Quentin could perform Hey Soul Sister, he could get a guitar.
So the reason we picked Hey Soul Sister was because I said, okay, you're going to learn a Train song, and for his first song, and that was what he had to do and perform to show us he was committed enough to pick up to get an electric guitar.
After a few months of practice, Quentin did it before an audience of hundreds.
Smell of you in every single dream I dream. I knew when we collided, you're the one I have decided who's one of my kind. Hey, soul sister, ain't that Mr. On the radio, stereo, the way you move ain't fair, you know. Hey, soul sister, I don't wanna miss a single thing you do tonight.
It actually brought his mom to tears. I mean, it was just really just like blew everybody away.
Quentin's unlike his 5 siblings and parents, all engineers.
Well, you know, he would be an outlier for us. I used to joke. I said we don't have 6 kids, we have 5 kids in Quentin. So we're all left side of the brain, and then we've got a musician. You know.
Brett and Park's parents were instrumental in their intro into music too.
My dad actually played piano when I was younger, and I picked up on it.
My parents bought me like a plastic blue like bugle, so like kind of like a trumpet.
Caleb's self-taught, taking it up just a few years ago.
I've just seen drummers like around whenever like I go places and like on videos and stuff, and so I guess I just kind of wanted to try it.
Because the drummers are really cool.
It's cool. Yeah.
The internet made it easy.
Nowadays with like YouTube and everything, you can look up whatever you want and figure it out.
Quentin, nicknamed Q-Tip for his cotton-top blonde hair, set himself apart by playing guitar behind his head.
Just standing there like this gets kind of boring sometimes. So I was just like, I wonder if I could do it behind my head. So I just threw it behind my head. The first couple times it was rough. I hit myself in the head sometimes. The cable falls out sometimes. I've worked on it a lot, and it's a technique that I'd say that I'm fairly good at now.
He's such a talented player, he was selected into the prestigious New Orleans Center for the Creative Arts School. Its distinguished alumni include Grammy and Emmy winner Harry Connick Jr. Grammy winner and band leader of The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, Branford Marsalis. Nine-time Grammy winner and artistic director at the Lincoln Center, Wynton Marsalis. John Batiste, band leader and music director on CBS's The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
I see skies of blue and clouds of white. The bright blessed days, in the dark sacred nights, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
And musician, producer, and actor, Trombone Shorty. Quentin got to play alongside both Trombone Shorty and John Batiste in December at the New Orleans Jazz Museum's Gala. Quentin splits his school days between Geismar and New Orleans.
I actually go to a high school the second half of every day in New Orleans.
It's a lot of driving, but everyone agreed an opportunity too good to pass up.
You get a college level music education in high school, and so you're surrounded by the best of the best.
Dutchtown's principal was all for it too.
When she found out, she was like, he has to go.
Oh.
Yeah, this has to happen. This is a great opportunity for him. And so Dutchtown High School, they bent over backwards to make this slot available for him.
He's learning things not found in his textbooks.
If there's something that's really important to you, put in the work, right? You want this, you have to work for it. And so learning that lesson.
Their band is learning to create their own music, a hallmark of real talent. Caleb got it rolling.
One night I just sat down, I had ideas, and I just kind of put them together. I recorded some of it and I sent it to Quentin, and then we kind of just figured out the rest of it.
Tell me the name of the song. Well, that's funny. You just got a big laugh around here.
Well, right now we don't really have a name for most stuff, but we call it Poe. That's Quentin's dog, and just because it was in here whenever we wrote it, so it kind of just stuck.
Poe.
Yeah, Poe. Yeah.
So what's the song about?
It's about a girl, technically, I guess.
Oh, good, because love sells.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You just try to be relatable to the world, even if it's not your situation. You just kind of.
But was it your situation?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
You sure? What's her name? Who's the song written for?
Yeah, Poe.
Their House of Blues audience loved it.
It was the last song we played, and we kind of went a little off the rails at the end, but in a good way. And it went over really well with the crowd. They really enjoyed it.
Impressive for a young band.
It really is difficult to take 4 people, even if they're best friends, and within a few months, even if they're really extraordinarily talented, to meld together as a band. And so they've matured a lot, not just emotionally, but also musically over the last 2 years.
Where they go next is all up to them.
They're on a journey right now. I know that they're as capable of bringing this as far as they want to, but at the same time, that's the key word. How far do they want to bring it?
Ultimate dream is always just performing for huge audiences in front of thousands of people in a big stadium. We're just seeing where this takes us for now.
We're all just hoping to keep gigging consistently and just have some fun and hopefully entertain some people, get our names out there.
We got some gigs lined up, and we're just gonna keep on playing, and we'll just see where the road takes us.
If you'd like to stay up to date on where they're playing next, you can follow them on their Facebook page, Blue Crab Redemption. And still ahead, busy. It's what most of us are most of the time. Dr. Nick shows us how to get out of that trap and get back to living. As Weekends with Whitney continues.
Out of the chaos.
Atlas Foundation Repair, fixing your foundation problems for more than 30 years while preserving and protecting your trees.
Each morning in Baton Rouge, we rise to meet opportunity. We carry the weight of responsibility proudly. We choose our paths. We move fast and we fly high. We light the way for others to follow. We make it happen. But what really matters is what happens when we land at home. Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport. Fly easy.
I'm the human dislike button. You may recognize me as the guy who enforces rules at Breck Parks. Check out my amazing presentation. Did you know? Motorized vehicles are not allowed in Breck Parks. Sales and solicitation are prohibited without permission from Breck. And my favorite rule, keep Breck Parks clean by placing all trash in trash cans. Come on, you can do this. For more information about these and other Breck rules, please visit breck.org/HDB.
How about stop being so busy and just do nothing? It sounds counterintuitive, right? It sounds like I wouldn't dream of doing that. Dr. Nick joins us to tell us why we must.
And we really kind of like, it's not even possible. People say it's not possible. I don't know how to do nothing. And I think that's because we don't have the right definition of nothing.
Okay, tell me.
My father gave me something years ago that I still have in my office. It says, sometimes I sits and I thinks, and sometimes I just sits. That tells volumes about what nothingness is. Mm-hmm. It's not at all stopping the mind from running. It's not. The mind's going to keep going. Well, at some point it's going to stop. But in the Dutch call it Nixon, I believe.
Yes.
We were reading about. And they use the image of the car that's still running, but it's idle. Mm. And I like to say to people, can you get into neutral? Neutral is the same thing. And because we really do live, I have the feeling that we wake up in fourth gear.
I feel like my mind does, definitely.
And we're into sixth gear by 9, 10, or 10 o'clock. We really are always in a rush, always doing something, always needing to achieve, always needing to produce. Nothingness is not about production. Nothing. That's what makes it so great. It's like I'm taking a break. Well, that's what recess was. When
True,
we were
doing something, but
it
wasn't school.
But some of us were probably doing nothing. I mean, if we had the right kind of teacher, we weren't forced to play in that sport. We could just kind of walk around or do nothing or do our own thing. Or hopscotch. But the importance of the nothingness is really to say, I'm off the clock. Mm. It's not apathy. But it really is kind of, I'm not caring anymore. I need a break from caring. I need a break from achieving.
Can I say why I think that is so difficult for people? It's because we relate it or associate it with laziness. If there's one word that Americans hate, it's lazy, right? We tend to hate laziness, people who aren't high achievers. I mean, those are things that are like bad, or we've been programmed to think they're bad. And so we need to rethink the definition of lazy, because it could just be doing nothing, which can be so healing, right?
That's profound, and we're talking now about what I would call countercultural. The cultural understanding of doing nothing is laziness. I don't see that. I love saying to people, I'm just being lazy today. I wish I could get that in people's heads. Say, I'm just being lazy today. I'll get to it. I'll get to the dishes, or I'll get to that work, or I'll get to that assignment. It'll get done.
And how about when you're being lazy, you're reading a new book?
Maybe, that's right. That's right. Because
you're not moving.
Because nothing doesn't mean that you're sitting in an position, humming or meditating. Right. It's just I don't really care. I'm not caught up in doing anything.
You know when I feel like I'm doing nothing?
Cool with the...
Yes, yeah. Well, I was going to say, you know when I feel like I'm doing nothing sometimes, but I am doing something, when I'm out watering the flowers.
Watering.
Or I'm, checking on the yard, trimming up some things. And I think it's just because you can just focus on that, and you don't really have to be anywhere else. It's a little mindless. And so...
Excellent image.
Yeah. I'm not running down my to-do list. I'm just like,
excellent image.
Look how pretty you are.
Yeah, yeah, and again, but it's taking the time to say to yourself, this is valuable for me. I'm doing nothing tonight. Well, what are you doing tonight? Well, you going to, no, I'm doing nothing tonight. Or I've got a date with myself. That sometimes can work, as a way of trying to calm down.
I love that for somebody. That a bunch of friends want you to go out, and then what are you doing tonight? I have a date. It could be with yourself.
Well, absolutely.
Don't feel like you have to explain away everything.
Absolutely. And Whitney, this is kind of the faith statement of that.
Tell me.
We really don't have certainty that doing nothing helps us almost become more productive and more achieving. I think it does. I think when we take those breaks and then we go back into the ring of life, when we go back into the work setting, I think when we go back to the project, I love to write. What I love most about it is writing a draft and then doing nothing with it.
For how long?
Oh, maybe a day or two. Okay. And then going back and reading it and maybe making some changes and then doing nothing with it. Now, sometimes it'll just come out, but I love the drafts because there's enough. You hear the space in between?
Yes.
The nothingness? It's almost like God's space. There has to be some time when we're not that sixth gear. Sorry, I'm very passionate about this.
I know.
I am.
I think you do it
well. I can't convert you.
I'm getting there.
That's not true. You just said watering the flowers, and I know that you love to work in the yard. I know you do.
And you just reminded me of why. I couldn't really put my finger on it, but in this conversation, that's why I love it. That's why sometimes even when it's 90 degrees outside, I welcome going out there and doing it.
Yeah, and let me push you a little, and then we'll go. You said something about you took a lot of time to repaint the pool.
Yes.
Okay. Would you be comfortable saying, Nikki, it was really kind of doing nothing. I know you saw something after, but could that be nothing for you?
If it weren't 96 degrees that day, maybe.
Forget that, folks.
No.
I'm just trying to help people think what
you're right.
could be nothing.
The prep work was kind of hard and tedious, but what we both said, once we got to rolling it, really, it took about 3 hours. It was. You're right. You're
just kind of
following the lines.
Yeah.
In nothingness. Tired as a dog afterwards because of the heat. No, you're right.
I know you were, because right afterwards I was ready to come over and swim, and I said, nope, I'm not coming. She's dying right now from the heat.
I think it took a couple days.
Talk about doing nothing after.
Yeah, well, I was trying to get ready for Memorial Day. And just so you know, if you're ever up against a wall and your pool needs painting because your pump is broken and looks like a swamp and you're going to drain the pool, so you decided to paint the pool, you can do it. Because if Kim and I can do it, by golly, anybody can do it. Just follow the directions.
And call it doing nothing, because nothing is what we need to do more of. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Nothing is what we need to do more of. It's like it's so countercultural.
It is, and that's what you're right. We all need to rethink our definition of nothingness, and it doesn't mean being lazy. It just means recharging.
Very much so.
Thanks, Dr. Nick. More Weekends with Whitney after this. Atlas Foundation Repair, fixing your foundation problems for more than 30 years while preserving and protecting your trees. Discover your art of living at Dixon Smith Interiors. With 10,000 square feet of inspired interiors, it's easy to bring beauty home. Create a unique interior that reflects your exterior. Translate what you love into where you live. For 60 years, Dixon Smith has refined the art of style, space, and comfort. You're a work of art. Your home should be too. Embrace your art of living at Dixon Smith Interiors in the heart of Baton Rouge. Discover Dixon. Thanks for sharing your time with us here on Weekends with Whitney. We hope to see you back here again next week. But until then, we leave you with this.